Shaken unexpectedly, I watched the sobbing girl and realized the curse wasn't for me. My heart pounded anyway, as if I somehow carried guilt for sins I didn't remember committing. Why was my heart pounding? I couldn't understand this guilty feeling, especially when the accusations of being a scumbag clearly didn't apply to me, at least, not in this world's eyes. Everyone's attention shifted to me. For a moment I felt exposed, as if my usual background presence had been erased and I was being observed by every girl in the classroom. Caught off guard, I forced a half-hearted smile and muttered agreement about scumbags, anything to remove the girl's attention from me, and returned to my own tangled thoughts. Vintage Gothic city streets, airships drifting overhead, and window glass reflecting my unfamiliar face. Everything here was impossibly vivid. Somehow, I realized this was no ordinary class. Steam buses, top hats, endless facades of Gothic stone. This new world's details were dazzling, unlike any era I'd known. But everything triggered my memory of a certain bizarre dating sim. Everything clicked in place. Steam tech, teeming city, anomalous creatures. I had become the protagonist, albeit a notorious containment facility director who flirted to conquer, not to love. My mind replayed the game's premise, collecting strange problem girls, charming my way past mysteries, unlocking the hidden truth beneath this world's surface, never really caring for romance. Progress in this world meant maximizing charm, navigating affection as a currency for new chapters. I only cared about playing well, devouring mysteries, while girls became little more than gameplay tools. Failure would mean affection levels dropped, girls turned hostile, and the true ending slipped out of reach. My answer? Max out charm, sweep each heroine's stats, and keep clearing the fog. Yesterday I fell asleep, playing all night. The next morning, all my contained heroines had left the team. In this reality, that meant they were out there, somewhere, on their own. Maybe they'd seek revenge for how I played the game, though I never meant to hurt them personally. The line between fiction and reality felt painfully thin, like a curse I couldn't dodge. A slow smile crept over me, confidence swelling. If I'd charmed my way through before, I could definitely do it again. All that strange tension almost felt exciting as the bell signaled day's end. To my surprise, an unfamiliar yet ethereal girl appeared at the classroom door, sunlight catching every strand of her gold hair as she timidly looked for her brother. Could this be Helena, my first anomaly? She ran to me and hugged me tightly. Helena, the gentle but mysterious girl from the slums, now grown up and glowing like a fairy under the sunlight, really was part of this real world. Trying to calm Helena down, I reassured her and asked about the years I'd missed. I was stunned to realize time here had truly passed. Helena grown from a child into a delicate young woman. Helena finally loosened her grip and buried her face shyly, as classmates gathered, curiously questioning our relationship. I told them she was my sister, though nothing about her abnormal origin. Helena clung tightly as the girls excitedly tried befriending her, causing her to shrink further behind me. Finally, I rescued her from the crowd and led her from the classroom with a smile. However, as we left, I failed to notice Helena glancing back. Her eyes, once gentle and timid, flashed cold and twisted, a momentary shadow falling over her beautiful, delicate face. Walking homeward, Helena clung to my hand, silent, her grip strangely tight. She stared at the ground, lost in herself, an anxious shadow flickering beneath her gentle surface calm. Without warning, Helena looked up and asked in a quavering voice if I could stop going to school. It was so out of character, my heart pounded. Why would she want me home so badly? Before I could answer, her voice turned tense, words tumbling out. Helena was worried someone would steal me away. Her fingers tightened, a sadness flickering through her fragile smile. A chill snaked down my spine when Helena abruptly muttered, "It's not like that." Again and again, her voice growing sharper, face hidden, grip threatening to crush my hand to pieces. Inside, anxiety gnawed at me, Helena's muttering making her feel like a stranger. I distracted myself by looking at the unfamiliar magic steam city, marveling at its vibrant, surreal beauty. Finally, with a sudden change, Helena looked up wearing an angelic smile, apologizing for her selfishness. Warmth returned to her tone, soothing the creeping fear that had taken root. Peace seemed restored as we walked hand in hand, Helena chatting about the past 4 years, while our shadows stretched longer, each step carrying us toward the old house we called home. Unlocking our home's heavy door, I realized the house felt emptier than usual. No voices, no movement, just spotless rooms Helena had patiently maintained for years, a faint loneliness hanging there. Startled, I heard the front door lock click behind me. Suddenly, a dreadful cold crept along my spine. Helena's smile had vanished, her expression darkening with some alien, unreadable intent. Helena's agitation exploded, her voice shaking as she accused me of caring about others more, her face twisting between hurt, anger, and something almost monstrous, each word laced with betrayal. Panicking, I tried to reason, but Helena's smile grew more warped, voice trembling with obsession and accusation. The room's air thickened as she advanced, eyes burning with frenzied devotion. With dizzying force, a psychic wave crashed through me as Helena unleashed mental contamination. I staggered, immobilized by terror, vision warping, her once soft form flickering into threatening distortion. In my mind's haze, system warnings flared, sanity check failed, my nerves shrieked, senses on fire. Helena approached, now openly wielding a knife, smile turning jagged and malicious before me. Helena's knife pressed cold to my skin, menace masked by a mocking sweetness, as she sang promises we would never be parted again. The blade hovered at my chest, stealing my breath away. Dread swamped me as the knife slid in. In agony, I finally broke free of her psychic grip and shoved Helena and the weapon aside, gasping as my mind snapped back to desperate awareness. Frantically, I summoned my containment authority, but Helena's system panel updated. Uncontained, escaped, danger soaring. The chilling screen glowed crimson, her stats warping with twisted warnings and danger gauges. Helena advanced again, spitting heartbreak and broken devotion as I scrambled for escape. My eyes darted to the window. Freedom was just steps away if I could reach it before she struck. Willing myself to move, I put on my bravest smile to stall her, baiting Helena's attention just long enough to bolt. Instinct screamed, "Run, or this would be the end of everything for me." Racing for the window, heart pounding, hope soared as my fingers gripped the sill. But as I vaulted onto the ledge, sudden freezing pain erupted. My body impaled, strength draining away instantly. Falling to the icy floor, awareness fading, I glimpsed Helena's angelic form twisted by monstrous tentacles, blue eyes deadened, arms morphing, a silent dread eclipsing her once radiant, impossible beauty. Startling awake suddenly, I gasped hard for air, chest burning and shirt clinging from sweat. Desks and classmates surrounded me. Wait, I was alive, unhurt, back in the classroom. Never expected panic like this. My female deskmate leaned in, concern etched on her face as she asked if I was all right. Classmates whispering and watching me closely from every seat. Blinking in disbelief, I checked my spotless shirt and chest, searching desperately for wounds. My memory screamed of agony, a tentacle through my heart, yet I found nothing but crisp fabric. Last moments haunted me. I saw Helena's monstrous tentacle again, her face twisting, replaying along with the final agony in full force. How was I here alive, just a boy in this classroom? Sunlit classroom as before. But now a semi-transparent red system panel unfolded in front of my eyes, hovering with holographic shimmer, its warnings and mission objectives burning into memory. Version update messages cascaded over me. The campus disappearance case, new save rules, affection system. My mind reeled at the weighty meaning. If I failed again, there'd be no more chances. System's timing mocked me. Anger sputtered in my chest. I had to survive, whatever happened. No way I'd ever let myself die 5 times, even if that meant facing Helena again soon. Remembering last pain, I swore this run would be different. Clenching fists, I braced for anything. Redemption, or true oblivion, waited ahead. This time, Helena's darkness would not swallow me. Friend called out before I could gather myself. My girlfriend had come to see me. My body tensed as all conversation vanished, every gaze in the classroom snapping to me in expectation. Turning slowly toward the door, every muscle rigid, I saw her. Sun catching her fair hair, Helena stood timid and doll-like in the hall, blue eyes searching for me. Every student, now silent. Beautiful as ever, Helena approached hesitantly, elfin and pure, sunlight catching every soft line, radiating innocence. Inwardly, my mind recoiled in terror at the lurking shadow behind that smile. My gentle smile masked swirling anxiety. I greeted Helena, as if nothing were wrong. She lowered her head, voice fragile and uncertain as she pleaded for us to go home, waiting these years to see me. Noticing the threat beneath Helena's smile, I prayed not to anger her. She raised her gaze, searching my face with uncertainty, her soft voice trembling as she asked if she'd made a mistake. Playing the perfect brother, I comforted her with a smile, acknowledging her changes. Helena wilted, guilt and uncertainty growing, worrying if she'd done something to drive me away again. Awkward tension broke when female deskmate nudged in, eager and teasing, asking if Helena was my sister. Smiling, I reassured everyone and claimed her as family, hoping the subject would cool. Relief flashed in female deskmate's eyes when I said sister. She playfully reached out to Helena, but I intercepted, grabbing Helena's hand and shielding her, refusing to risk her unstable mood. Using calm words, I excused us to leave, pulling Helena away as eyes tracked us from behind. No matter what, I couldn't let her interact. Danger flickered beneath her angelic smile, always unpredictable. Streets emptying of students, Helena walked with head bowed, guilt twisting her small frame. I reassured her gently, telling her I wasn't angry, careful to keep every word soft and safe for her. Hope flickered in Helena's eyes when I comforted her. She lit up, convinced I cared for her most. My act paid off, but caution thrummed inside, remembering my last fatal mistake all too well. Strange requests tumbled from Helena, to quit school and stay with her always. My smile didn't waver, but terror spiked. These were the deadly questions that led to disaster last time. I promised quickly. Delight burst through Helena's gentle mask. Hearing my oath, she trembled with emotion, odd smiles flashing, muttering that I was hers alone. My panic rose, gnawing beneath my practiced calm. Helena's grip clamped hard on my hand as she dragged me home, murmuring that no one could take me away. Her glances swept every passerby, suspicion and protectiveness surfacing violently within her. Home's door slammed and I spun to face her. Helena, half wild with excitement, declared she'd cook for me, vanishing abruptly. I braced, relief and dread mixing at the calm suddenly shattered. Pain stabbed my wrists as metal cuffs bit down, Helena springing from behind to trap me. Her smile darkened as she locked them tight, warning in her sing-song voice that I must stay put. Hushed determination guided every slow step as I walked single file upstairs, my hands still locked behind me. Metal cuffs bit my wrists harder with each attempt to open a door alone. Within pitch-black air, hours of careful planning seemed wasted as I glimpsed my cleared alchemy table. Every bottle and tool gone, all cabinets empty, hands gripping uncertainty. Sunless, silent, my mind raced through the real reason I returned here. My secret as a player, hidden even from Helena, was the alchemy interface that let me concoct potions unseen. Crafting process initiated, holographic interface floated before me, swirling with unreadable energy. Every recipe, ingredient, and step flickered inside my gaze, hope pinned on perfecting the suppression potion. Potion animation revealed iridescent liquids mixing in phantasmal vials as I waited, heart pounding, listening for footfalls. Every passing second made success and survival seem ever more fragile. Sweat pooled along my brow when the finished vial glinted success. I twisted to slip it into my pocket, nerves taut with the certainty that Helena's madness made this risk worth everything. Footsteps thumped suddenly above, pulse thrummed in my throat. I barely started toward the exit when a gleaming eye, unblinking, appeared between the cracked door, terror blooming instantly. Without warning, Helena stood before me, her voice cold and calm, asking what I was doing. I hid my panic behind a gentle smile, scrambling to summon a plausible lie before suspicion grew. Heart drumming, I managed a convincing smile and friendly tone, talking about old friends, school, and my return, layering truths to mask my real intent. Helena's stare never softened, testing every word. Stifling tension, warmth flickered as Helena rattled off groceries she'd brought home. My attempt to praise her goodness met only with a cold stare, her mood unreadable in the yellow lamp's glow. As Helena silently inspected my workspace, heartbeats pounded beneath guilt. Her search found nothing out of place. Relief and dread tangled, the hidden vial cold against my skin. Excuses flowed easily, news of campus disappearances, old habits resurfacing. I leaned on partial truth, watching Helena's skepticism slowly fade as she weighed my fears against her knowledge. With a wordless nod, Helena's icy guard retreated, and she stepped forward, softening. Her arms wrapped around me. Her promise sounded gentle, but the unspoken threat pulsed beneath every word. Awkwardly returning Helena's embrace was bittersweet. She promised protection, not understanding how her love became perilous. My mouth never voiced the truth, swirling hot and bitter beneath my smile. With exaggerated care, Helena locked the workroom door behind us, triple-checking everything. Only then did her mask slip to display happiness. She led me into a feast, brightly lit by candle flames. Golden candlelight flickered as Helena seated me at the table and hummed a song, preparing dishes with practiced hands. My cuffs reminded me that comfort was only an illusion in this moment. Fork poised near my lips, I hesitated, room sealed in darkness, each window boarded, only candles left for light. The heart inside me twisted, hungry yet mindful that I was truly trapped here. With a strained bitter smile, I tried to joke, suggesting even Helena might lack appetite in this prison-like gloom. For a moment guilt flickered. She finally realized how miserable I'd become. Guilt shadowed Helena's eyes as she finally heard my plea for freedom. Quiet apology tumbled from her lips, her fear was losing me again. I pressed, repeating my vow that I'd never disappear. Moment hung between us. Helena finally relented, keys clicking. With every unwinding loop of cold steel, relief swelled up in my chest and the weight of restraints faded, if only for tonight. Bright cutlery shines as Helena offers me another steak slice, eyes eager for my approval. Jaw tense, I chew blandly. Her delight is genuine, yet my mind spins with doubts. Helena's hopeful smile seems to lighten the air for a moment, but I force myself to swallow a mouthful. The taste strangely hollow, her happiness feels heavy, a weight pressing on my chest. Sudden chill fills the room. Helena's tone sharpens, pollution rising. Her forced command to eat echoes as a red warning flickers briefly. I try not to betray my fleeing thoughts to her gaze. Wordless submission wins me small mercy. Helena's mood eases as I force forkfuls down. Oppressive silence hovers, only the scrape of cutlery and the distant beat of my anxious heart. Overfilled and weary, I spy Helena devouring her food at unsettling speed. Each plate she finishes spotless. Buried memories flicker, her hunger, her obsession, trace back to a darker past. Her small frame seems bottomless, recalling the starving child I once met in the slums. Even now, glimpsing Helena's wild intake, I sense her scars never truly faded despite our new setting. If not for what came before, this quiet meal might be comforting. Instead, each bite aches, reminding me that beneath these fragile moments, danger and sorrow lurk just beyond candlelight. Pain persists in my chest, the knowledge Helena once killed me sharp as ever. Even now, my life's never truly mine, it's hers, walled in by her power and this suffocating selfish love. Trying to crush sympathy, I keep my distance, heart steeled, hand unconsciously gravitating toward my pocket. But Helena's scrutiny sharpens, making cold sweat bead along my spine. With an innocent smile, Helena probes me. Doesn't brother miss them? My heart races, recalling how such questions once triggered bloodshed. I play dumb, clinging desperately to denial. Helena stands, vanishes kitchenward. Her words trail back, hinting at jealousy I pretend not to hear. Laughter feels brittle as I force a smile, unease gnawing beneath her departing footsteps. A heavy black sphere thuds by my feet, Helena's back in a heartbeat. Acrid blood scent floods the air. My smile dies as a terrible suspicion dawns. My pulse drums violently in my ears. My world narrows to a woman's head staring blankly at me. A classmate I knew. Dread claws up my throat, every muscle tensing as Helena's gleeful confession chills the flames of candlelight. Terror gnaws at me. Helena recounts her meeting with my classmate, voice lilting but eyes feverish. I shrink from her glee. Her possessive, violent love spills across the table like spilled blood. Helena's laugh sharpens to maniacal curse as she stomps down, venting rage on her enemy's remains. Sickened, I avert my gaze, unable to bear the grotesque proof of her obsession with me. Frenzy fades, now Helena softly touches my trembling cheek. Her vow is chilling, no more women will threaten our lonely bond. I shudder and try not to recoil, heart hollowed by dread. Helena whispers that nobody will disturb us again. Firelight flickers across my face as I lower my head, muting the chaos tumbling in my heart. I am helpless, adrift in silent terror. She calls for me, my lips refuse to move as I sit in the glow and shadow, Helena's laughter ringing hollow in the empty hall. Inside, all that's left is numbness and the word, monster. Darkness presses in. Every word from Helena slashes deeper, each accusation twisting my insides, helpless as her trembling form erupts into that monstrous display I always feared. Helena's laughter breaks, her arms scatter into writhing tentacles, slick and terrible, the sanity-shattering sight smashing into me. I can't move, breath stolen by her inhuman fury. Sheer terror pulses, as my senses blur, a crimson overlay floods my sight, system alerts echoing, sanity check, contamination warning. I grip my fists, clinging to the hope I'm still myself. Hope kindles briefly, sanity returns as strength surges to my limbs. Helena recoils in surprise, eyes flickering with something close to disbelief as her writhing tentacles hesitate newborn. Shards fly wild, potion bottle shatters against Helena's face, releasing caustic fumes. Her tentacles whip desperately, jerking back as the stench fills the room, her anger boiling over anew. Glass shards, guttural scream, Helena clutches her face, tentacles writhing wildly. My relief is faint. Beneath her shriek is fury that burns hotter than pain, and I realize my hope is premature. Porcelain and fear? Helena's frenzied tentacles wreck the dining room around me. Splintered wood and shattered plates fly while I grip the knife and back deeper into this prison she's made. No retreat remains. Brain racing, I focus on the mansion's rules, clutching at the last hope, forced containment. My trembling hand fumbles open the old system panel, daring fate to save me. Containment fails me. The mansion rumbles as Helena shrieks, eyes burning with lethal hate. Two tentacles shoot out. A metallic crack and fire streak my leg as agony drops me to the floor. Paralyzed in pain, Helena hovers over me, that once angelic face now bloodied, eyes swirling with madness. Her tentacles curl inward, the air thick with despair and the iron scent of blood. Vision blurs crimson, she draws me close, her tentacles supporting my limp body as blood pools at my feet. Helena's voice is oddly gentle, the sting of her words cutting deeper than pain. Promises crumble now. She cradles me, murmuring softly that everything was a lie, her hands trembling on my shoulders. I force a bitter smile, every breath thick with regret and dread. Soft whispers lull, her tentacles squeeze tighter as she speaks of happiness, promising to keep me close forever. I bleed, mind floating, longing only for an end to this twisted, loving prison. Slipping from clarity, vision narrows as her lips drift nearer, breath warm with fevered devotion. I slide my hand weakly, the knife's cold metal pressed against trembling, blood-streaked palm. Steel flashes quick. With all the strength left, I drive the knife into Helena's chest. Her blue eyes widen, stunned, blood seeping as she releases me with a wordless gasp of heartbreak. Pain eclipses vision. Every tentacle whips in unleashed frenzy, blades cutting through the air. Their wild motion blots out light as I collapse, blood soaking through my shattered body, mind fading. Vision the last, consciousness flickers. Helena kneels, clutching her chest, voice trembling as she cries that she is truly a monster. I smile weakly, burdened by sorrow and acceptance, slipping away. Cradled in defeat, Helena curls beside my body, seeking warmth and comfort, whispering that we will be together forever. Her smile is serene as she sinks into the fading candlelight and blood. Dim candles embrace, blood trickles unheeded as Helena draws the knife from her chest. Breathing slows, color drains from her face, her smile dreamy and content in the hush of oblivion. Eternity settles here, our forms entwined, bathed in dim candlelight and dark stains. Silence falls as the pain ebbs. In that final moment I smile, accepting this strange haunting forever together. Shattered awake violently, I choke on breath, desperate for air as reality slams back, haunted by Helena's curse echoing in my ringing ears. My lungs twinge sharply, uncertain but alive, blunt ache lingering. I manage to respond as female deskmate fusses, offering to call the nurse. I wave her off, muttering about nightmares, masking the gnawing dread that Helena still stalk. Awkward silence thickens. My refusal to talk further makes her sigh, retreating slightly in a huff. She turns away, misunderstanding my distance, while I'm only weighing how to shield her theft. Return to awkward routine. I stare at their turn to save point message. 3 saves left, but the difference in power was too stark. Running seems the only viable escape this time. A row, exchanging the shelter for the street. It's clear both are dead ends. Neither provide a true sense of safety. I eye the exit, deciding fleeing is wiser than risking another encounter with a horror. Pushing past the weeping crowd by the doorway, frustration burns within as careless classmates mutter behind me. I march straight for the exit, hoping to vanish before Helena tracks me down. Despite whispers calling me arrogant, I move faster, slipping through the halls. My chest aches with worry, knowing every second counts. Helena could arrive any moment if I hesitate or far. Helena arrives at the doorway, scanning the room with desperate eyes. Female deskmate rolls her eyes and informs her I've left. Helena drops her usual act, urgency replacing her shy facade. Eyes scanning the crowd outside, Helena's face is tense with hope as she searches for a glimpse of me. Her mask slips, singular focus honed on any trace of my silhouette among bustling students in the main square below. Helena's lips curl slightly, triumphant. Her gaze fixes on my hurried figure near the city gate. At last, she's found me, and the chaste expression unreadable. I blend with the city's pulse, tracing familiar streets that now seem so alien. Everywhere is a potential trap, but outside is safer than staying. Every step is hesitation dissolves. I recall rumors of the Holy Edict, knights, and special affairs, powerful protectors against the supernatural. Wandering, I resolve to find the police station and see. Pacing quickly, I draw stairs. Soon, 2 officers in navy black coats spot me out, their wary expressions tracking my approach. I recognize the St. Colin police badge gleaming on their Desperate to survive, I rush toward the officers, arms up, eager. Their hands go to sidearms in confusion, but I blurt out my plea for help. Chased by a monster, haunted by someone who The officers are flummoxed, never having seen someone in mortal danger so eager for help. I shout out about Helena, and one officer starts searching my pockets. The other scans the crow. My desperate tale draws only suspicion. The officer's brows furrow as one even flips my eyelid, checking for drugs. Frustration bubbles. I need their trust, but my story sounds insane. I name Captain Raymond as leverage, watching their posture sharpen. Still, they play along, laughter hinting the stories heard before in St. Colin. A city with too many would-be Watching the officers prepare to leave, I scan every face on the street. Panic flaring, Helena could appear anywhere. If ordinary police are useless, I must force my way into sanctuary. Idea strikes suddenly. Inside a police station, Helena can't reach me. I grab the nearest officer's wrist, desperate. His exasperated warning comes too late as instinct takes over and, without thinking, my fist connects with the officer's face. Panic and a glimpse of freedom mingle in that instant. He stumbles back, clutching his eye, as chaos erupts and protocol kick. Records shattered, sirens blare as the assaulted officer springs up, gun in hand, bellowing about attack. I raise my hands high, apologetic but relieved. Chaos at least finally buys him. Handcuffed tight, my nerves finally settle. Bars and all, this station is the safest place I've known. Serial killers and bandits slept here before me. Misery loves company. Shift changes echo faintly, so many armed officers close by. After all that horror, their presence is reassuring. Even insults from the gruff interrogator seem oddly welcome now. My sincere smile confuses him. He thinks I'm crazy, requesting more jail time. He slams the desk, tempers rising, but I laugh it off, feeling lighter than when I walked in here. With file details revealed, I piece together my own patched history. The cultist's nightmare, 4 missing years, illness, and a suspiciously tidy reprise at St. Colin Academy's magic program. So records show no Helena. She erased every trace, even from welfare rolls. The police found nothing at home either. My story sounds like the usual madness St. Colin is used to. File closed, case unsolved. He warns me of consequences, but thanks me anyway. This officer is annoyed but thorough. I try to look grateful, even as his patience is thin as paper. Silence settles. Alone at last, I listen as prisoners in distant cells bicker and groan. Strange comfort lingers. If Raymond never comes today, at least there's a cell and a tomorrow. Repeated failures, always dying the first night, have left me fragile. But maybe I'll live past daybreak this time. If safe, I must reclaim my magic, start over, and finally prepare my escape. Sudden silence falls. Every sound from other cells vanishes. My heart pounds louder. I freeze, staring down the corridor, each footstep echoing, a black shadow bloating with my dread. A stranger appears in the hall, formal black uniform, keyring clattering. He calls my name, cold and official. Calder, Special Affairs. Relief flickers. Had the cavalry really shown up? Calder opens the door and sits opposite, demanding details. Hearing, he Special Affairs calms me. I confess, I'd rather risk his questions than whatever waits beyond these bars tonight. Reliving Helena's threats, I withhold the reloading secret. No words express how terrifying she is. Even Calder blanches, muttering about shoggoths and tentacles as he listens silently. Calder seems thoughtful, refusing to deploy agents. Instead, he presses, "What is Helena really?" I fumble for words, childhood memories flicker, blurring pity with pain after everything she's done. I describe Helena's quirks, her need for affection, food obsessions, how sympathy crawled in even after she murdered me twice. Pity and rage swirl. Am I the monster for feeling this? Under relentless questions, bitterness rises. I recount both deaths, my rage growing despite knowing Helena's madness. Games played on repeat, now I'm the toy at her mercy. When Calder finally speaks, his voice is bleak. He calls Helena a twisted monster wrapped in a girl's skin. Can I leave now? I all but beg, desperate for real Special Affairs protection. His voice warps, suddenly high, cold, familiar. Skin shifts. Calder's form writhes in a sick parody, shrinking and twisting into a gold-haired girl in uniform. Helena, smiling and furious. Now truly Helena, thin body, twisted uniform, eyes wild with grief and anger. Somewhere beyond, a pool of blood seeps in. I stagger back. How many had she already massacred outside? Helena's smile chills to the bone. She's wounded, I'd call her a monster. Her voice is icy, disappointed. But true terror blooms as tentacles burst from her arms, sprouting bone-like blades. Sharp tentacles unfurl, strange and beautiful in a grotesque dance. Helena croons that forever is all she wants. Paralyzed by terror, I can only brace for what she has planned next. Eyes squeeze shut, I surrender to dread. Even the cell cannot shelter me now. Everywhere I run, Helena follows. The net tightens, the world's cruelty worse than any nightmare I survived. My first thought waking up, the unending curse. Numb, I scan the classroom, everything too familiar, classmates indignant, her face tear-streaked, my deskmate glancing my way. No matter how often I die, numbness lingers, it's my own life after all. I grip my chair, remembering hard-earned truths, still grasping for hope, yet dreading what comes next. Every save, every setback, 2 lives remain. System warnings float before my weary eyes, and I realize every hard-won memory, every failed ending, was paid with pain I can't forget. Time cycles endlessly, but at least I've closed the gap. Knowledge won't betray me now. Helena's chilling new abilities linger in my mind, her mimicry altering danger forevermore. Even knowing Helena's not here yet, paranoia grips me. Anyone could be her, lurking beneath a stolen face. For the first time I wonder who around me might hide a monster's secret. Helena's rampage changes everything, yet my seatmate's head remains firmly on her shoulders. I marvel at that hope. If her fate can shift, perhaps mine can also reshape itself. Patience, luck, and hope. Staring at her, my sudden silence stirs confusion. She asks if there's something on her face, and I try not to dwell on my earlier fears or doubts. A fleeting peace warms me. I warn her to keep distant, flashing a smile that stuns her into shy confusion. Her cheeks go red, but I'm already retreating back into guarded silence. The blush on her cheeks confuses her. She can't grasp my warning. As she recovers, I straighten in my chair, shifting attention back to the strange web fate always seems to weave. When my name's called, I sense the cycle repeat. A beautiful girl waits at the door, sunlight casting golden light, classmates whose envy masks their ignorance of what nightmares lurk below. The sun halos us as I call out her name. She dashes forward in her white dress, my arms open, smile flawless. We embrace for the world, but inside only icy calculation survives. Her arms slip around me, and for that fleeting moment, even the murderous intent hidden in her gaze vanishes behind a mask of shyness. One false move, and everything unravels again. Every performance has a price. Even I forget the danger. Helena's innocent voice asks to go home. I agree. acting the part until my own stomach knots with dread and forced calm. A classmate calls out, a minor interruption but a turning point. I smile, but inwardly gears shift. He's the class monitor, loyal and busy, unknowingly guiding me down another fate. A moment's pause. I ask where Professor Evelyn's office is. The class monitor's answer comes quick and confident, orange notebook in hand, charting my course down wilder, untested roads ahead. Helena hesitates, sensing the shift. She asks if we're not going home, and I gently reassure her, masking my nerves as I send her back, willing her to trust in just a moment longer. I turn the corner, Helena waiting behind. Now, every heartbeat counts. I hurry alone, through bright academic corridors, already gearing plans to push this loop story to dangerous new heights. Should I force fate's hand? If a major event erupts, at least the authorities will react. Helena's mystery deepens with each cycle. I pace the hall, every step nearer a drastic gamble. Only by stirring up a crisis will fresh eyes turn toward us. Each loop, pain for a sliver more control. I reach the academic offices, nerves singing with risk I can nearly taste. Hand raised, I hesitate. Professor Evelyn's office is grand. I imagined a wise woman, middle-aged and stern. Instead, a youthful voice beckons, and I step into a future unknowable and bright. Opening the office door, I'm greeted by dim light and books everywhere. Unexpected, yet oddly intimate. I linger near the threshold, my eyes adjusting, curiosity piqued instantly. Rows of odd old books, divinations, horoscopes, even beauty guides fill both walls. It hardly feels like a teacher's office, curiosity turning to quiet amusement as I approach Evelyn's desk. Teacher Evelyn asks how my health has been, never looking up from her paperwork. I answer lightly, masking my uncertainty. After all, the illness vanished as strangely as it came. Surprised, she finally looks up, meeting my gaze. For a moment, teacher and student quietly observe one another, each searching for hints behind a polite front. She is truly too young. Youthful beauty, poised attire, Evelyn could easily pass as a recent graduate. My mind drifts. Is the world's NPC design now this dazzling, or is it only the most important ones who shine? Evelyn gently teases that I look listless. If only she knew how many times I've died in this cycle. Her concern is real, but I play along, offering a smile and shallow reassurance. The curriculum is gentle. Evelyn assures me she'll approve leave if I need rest. She's considerate without overbearing, the kind of teacher I always wished my real life had granted me. With a sudden recollection, Evelyn brings out a thick stack of forms. The air shifts as fresh procedures loom. I'm handed a fountain pen, nerves tensing as the paperwork ordeal begins. Our hands accidentally brush as I reach for her pen, her skin cool, the contact electric and brief. She recoils slightly, embarrassed, and I stammer my apologies, both of us flustered. A flicker. Suddenly that familiar favorability interface appears above Evelyn's head. Only Helena had triggered it before. There it is, clear as day now, favorability 32, system silent judgment. In past loops, only abnormal heroines had favorability. Now normal characters trigger it too. Small gains, but every point helps. I'm forced to exploit even these mosquito leg opportunities. Lowering my gaze, I silently resolve to press on. This might endanger us both, but if it means advancing, I have no choice. I sit quietly now, filling out Evelyn's forms in the sunlit office. Returning, Evelyn watches me with concern. My hand trembles on the pen. She suspects something is wrong. Her posture stiffens, reaching out uncertainly, sunlight sharp across the now brighter room. Almost fainting, I clutch the desk. Evelyn swiftly supports me, risk and intimacy colliding in the simple gesture. Her fragrance, her presence. I can't meet her gaze for more than a moment. She bends close, concern written in every line. The elegant skirt, slender waist, and mesmerizing eyes fill my horizon. I force myself to focus on acting sick, not on how gorgeous my teacher is. Seated in her chair, I act frail as Evelyn hands me water. She worries aloud, then asks about my symptoms. My practice lies flowing smoothly, every detail woven to keep her guard down. Evelyn scolds gently, doting as she brushes my face and checks my temperature. Against my will, I feel safe under her touch. Her concern oddly soothing in this dangerous game of scripted roles. I lie with conviction. Work piling up can't slow me down because, as I tell her, I love learning. The words are ridiculous, but her scolding frown softens as she gazes at me in disbelief. Evelyn surrenders to my good student act, warmth softening her dark green eyes. As her hand lingers, the favorability number rises quietly. Never has a lie been so oddly rewarding. Savoring this gentle warmth, my relief grows as Evelyn's favorability for me rises. My risk paid off. Charm points weren't wasted after all. Her gaze is so oddly gentle now. She tells me not to worry, she'll handle the paperwork and cover for me. Evelyn complains about annoying higher-ups, her voice confidential. I nod, acting weak and grateful. Trying to deepen our bond, I look at Evelyn with sincere gratitude and admiration, acting the part. Her gaze softens, sunlight bathing my face as she looks a little dazed. Feigning pure admiration, I thank Evelyn for being our teacher, the sunlight so gentle it brightens even my awkward smile. For a heartbeat, I think her breath hitches audibly. She tries to joke it off, feigning sternness with a teasing scold. Her awkward laughter returns the mood to normal. We share light banter, easing lingering tension between us. Confessing my late-night study struggles, I fake a tragic whine. Evelyn rolls her eyes, her teasing reply surprises me. Maybe I am convincing her more than I thought with this performance. Her shoulders relax as we joke, paperwork forgotten for now. She gathers my forms with an approving smile, praising me for hard work and offering gentle encouragement to rest at home. Pretending to prepare to leave, I'm surprised when Evelyn lingers, chatting more as if reluctant. Warmth lingers in her eyes, yet she masks it in polite dismissal, drawing out my goodbye. Taking a last grateful glance at Evelyn, I smile from the heart. Pain and fear fade for an instant. A sense of hope seeps in, my strength quietly bolstered by her concern and favor. Right at the door I stop, remembering the question about magic. I turn, voicing hesitant curiosity while Evelyn pauses work, curiosity and caution flickering in her gentle features. When I ask if she knows magic, Evelyn's face changes, her gentle tone sharpens with warning. She insists magic brings only madness and disaster, urging me to stay far away from it always. Reluctantly, I agree with her warning about magic. With her answer, disappointment swells inside me, though I close the door quietly, her concern lingering as a bittersweet comfort behind me. Alone again, I acknowledge the trip's success. Though still ignorant about magic, favor and reward fill me with unexpected optimism amidst this crisis. My steps feel lighter for a moment. The system panel flickers with new rewards. At last, something generous. My anticipation rises reading the offered skills, each more tempting than expected. This is not the cruelty I'd feared. System lists 3 tempting abilities: firearms shooting, inspiration surge, and negotiation pacification. I weigh their usefulness, my mind quick and unclouded as I scroll through each description. Evaluating stats, I realize negotiation pacification is my best option. The description alone hints it's vital, especially for Helena. My choice made, I exchange for the master-level skill instantly. Mood surprisingly lifted, I feel hope flicker. This visit changed everything. Success after so much suffering. Today, my risk was worthwhile. But a familiar voice suddenly calls from ahead. When I see Helena waiting in the quiet corridor, her searching gaze aimed at the office I just left, all contentment flees. Her quiet voice cuts straight through my pleasant haze of relief. Looking into Helena's eyes, I realize her longing to be with me runs even deeper than I imagined. Our bond feels delicate, yet for now, her presence calms my nerves. From Helena's posture alone, I sense the discomfort she feels among classmates. She's always seeking quiet, choosing my company over any group, and I reassure her with simple praise. Helena surprises me with questions about teacher Evelyn. My heart reacts sharply. Her curiosity exposes my feelings, but I conceal my worry with calm words chosen out of practiced habit. My gentle avoidance makes Helena visibly relax. She breathes easier, and the trace of jealousy hiding in her gaze softens, our little drama diffused for now by my harmless practiced deception. Helena's spirit bounces back instantly. Hand in hand we walk away, but as we round the corner, she gives a final backward glance, her gaze fixed, thoughtful, on the office we're leaving behind. On our quiet walk home, Helena asks again if I might stay with her day and night. I've learned through mistakes and rewinds how to respond without pain or distance. My patience is weary but unbroken. Each day together, Helena's mood grows lighter. Humming softly beside me, she clings tightly, uncharacteristically cheerful. Today, no possessiveness or suspicion, just genuine joy in every step we share. All alone at last, I silently count the seconds after Helena shuts the door. Each moment she's gone is a chance. This rare freedom makes me hurry upstairs, moving with urgent, cramped caution. Taking no chances, I quickly check my pockets for the stability suppression potion and then hide it inside an old vase by the door. My precautions make my heartbeat race, hoping for smooth success. Beneath the surface calm, each small victory against fear makes me tense. For now, everything proceeds without interruption. Hardly daring to believe it, I force myself to relax on the quiet first floor. Night's gentle arrival brings Helena back home, arms full of groceries. Her cheerful greetings fill our humble kitchen as she prepares an elegant, candlelit dinner, a soft glow promising fragile comfort. With the first bite, real flavor surprises me. Helena looks on, eyes shining expectantly. As I praise her skills, I sense the old tension lessen. Tonight's dinner may not be the usual game of survival. Helena's mood lightens even more, as my genuine enjoyment becomes clear. She leans forward, smiling and pushing more dishes my way. I match her enthusiasm, hiding my anxieties behind exaggerated appetite. Carefree in her happiness, Helena forgets suspicion and lets herself enjoy the moment. Her face glows in the flicker of candlelight, while my own heart beats anxiously, fearing what question comes next. When Helena glances at the empty table, Nostalgia shadows her features. Her soft, dangerous question turns my blood cold. Does brother miss when others filled this house? My answer could shatter everything. Even knowing it's a trap, I risk admitting I miss those crowded days just a little. Instantly, Helena's arm shudders. In the fragile candlelight, her hidden jealousy becomes a silent, cold threat. Helena looks down, her voice small and wounded. The temperature in the room plummets in an instant, her feelings twisted with jealousy and doubt. Danger is close. This is always the hardest test. Gently, I reach across the table and brush her hair. My voice and eyes soften as I call on my hard-won negotiation skill, hoping to soothe her fragile mood before instability tears the moment apart. With my negotiation skill, I see more deeply into Helena's wounded heart than ever before. Emotions fragile, she's ready to listen. Here, with tension mounting, the true game of survival begins anew. Tonight is different, because instead of exploding in anger, Helena listens intently, her emotions pacified, leaving me in awe at this new miracle, thanks to my skill. More surprising than calmness is the rare warmth when I admit loneliness, watching Helena's guarded heart thaw almost imperceptibly, like a beam of light spilling into an old wound. Previously, Helena lashed out painfully, wounds both physical and invisible. Yet tonight, something in her posture hints at hope for healing, while I feel relief gently replacing dread. Helena murmurs that loneliness is familiar, and her voice sounds softer than I remember. She recalls the cold, the hunger, and what it meant to be a monster in the eyes of everyone else. For a moment, I let myself drift back with Helena's memories. Our first meeting, the crows, the winter cold, her tiny whisper for food, how I offered her something warm for the first time. When Helena realizes I truly remember our meeting, her smile is unguarded, almost radiant. My heart aches at how simple remembering can bring her so much happiness amid old pain. Helena remembers battling the agents and the numbing exhaustion that followed, cold gnawing at her bones. In those times, hunger and fear nearly swallowed every scrap of hope she clung to. Helena's memories flicker. The terror of hidden tentacles, the revulsion of family, becoming a monster, that dreaded word carved into her identity and pushing her far beyond the warmth of any home. Pulled into the past, Helena remembers the church orphanage, the way the nuns welcomed her, letting her feel, just briefly, she belonged, free from fighting dogs for scraps and cold isolation. Trying so hard to fit in, Helena clung to the hope that faith and learning might buy her a place. Yet every moment, dread gnawed at her, terrified that her abnormal self would be discovered. A nun's gift changed everything, a tattered plush bear, Helena's first real toy. Joy overwhelmed her, a brief glimpse of ordinary happiness, even if only for a fragile moment that could not last. But envy and cruelty brought heartbreak. Children stole and destroyed her bear, stuffing torn and scattered. Helena's trust shattered again, leaving her more afraid to hope or belong. Anger unleashed her hidden self, tentacles, fear, blood, chaos, then running again, escaping the orphanage as even kindness surrendered to terror. Hunger and cold reclaimed her once more. Relentless pursuit drove Helena to the end. From constant hiding and fighting stray dogs for food, she nearly gave up hope. Until she met me, the moment that turned her fate upside down forever. To Helena, I was light and darkness. She clung to my arm, seeking warmth, all her brittle defenses replaced by longing for that fragile moment of togetherness. Just the two of us, a family at last. Helena curls up securely in my arms, her lashes fluttering as she drifts so unlike her usual self that even I am left marveling at the soft tranquility filling the fragile silence in this home. Carrying Helena to bed, I see joy spread across her face, eyes half-moon and glowing. She calls me good, hugs my neck tight, and lets herself be cradled, secure for once, in her own warm room. Dead night presses in as I finally finish chores, exhaustion blurring my thoughts, but seeing the clock past midnight fills me with rare exhilaration. Surviving to see dawn is an unfamiliar relief. Lying in bed, anticipation for dawn catches me off guard. For once, I dare to hope tomorrow will come, a dangerous luxury, but I clutch it tightly, unwilling to release the thought just yet. That instant of joy is reined in by old cautious habits. I warn myself not to trust safety too easily, not just yet. Risk is ever present, even when it hides behind uneventful midnight hours. I sleep restlessly, nightmares replaying Helena's past violence, waking me in trembling sweats. This home may be peaceful now, but fear still follows me into the heart of every dream. Struggling awake, soaked in sweat, I try to laugh off the shadows. No matter how peaceful Helena seemed tonight, fear lingers, her presence haunting every sleepless dark hour in this house. Eyelids droop, but suddenly a sharp sensation jolts me alert. There's a presence in the room, unseen yet unnerving, sending chills down my spine like cold water spilled along my nerves. Terrified awake, I see Helena's unblinking blue eyes shine through blackness. Even in the warm lamplight, her strange, motionless form fills the room with a quiet, suffocating sense of dread. Chill fills the air tonight, my breath frosty despite the closed window. This isn't just cold. Something murderously intense seems to lurk, hidden, yet I can almost taste it. Attempting warmth, I fake a calm smile, ask if anything's wrong. But every muscle is coiled in dread. Her sudden presence conjures a surge of old, primal fear within my chest. Before I can escape, Helena vanishes in a streak of gold and blocks my path. Her smile twists into accusation, eyes weighing truth. Did my fear just betray me to her forever? Holding my breath, I joke about first reactions, forcing a casual grin. Helena's doubts flicker but don't vanish, suspicion shadowing her soft features as I fumble for normalcy. After my answer, Helena lowers her head and voice, almost like she wants to disappear inside herself. Relief flutters through me, thinking I've finally soothed that storm brewing in her eyes. My comfort fades instantly. An unnatural, slimy sound echoes. Helena's silhouette melts and reforms, sprouting monstrous tentacles that emerge to slither hungrily across the lamplit floor. Tentacles ensnare my limbs, slick and ice-cold against skin. I force a smile, my body frozen. She asks if I'm scared of this monstrous form, eyes empty but searching desperately for reassurance. Feigning composure, I tell Helena her true form doesn't bother me. Heart pounding, I watch as her tentacled embrace only tightens, struggling to breathe under all that monstrous affection. Helena's euphoria wavers, her muttered words spiral into frenzied monologue. I fight for breath, vision swimming, her grip suffocating me, before she abruptly realizes she's gone too far. Realizing my distress, Helena recoils in guilt. I collapse limp, lungs burning. Tentacles gently cradle me now, her voice trembling, apologizing, hope and danger forever blurring at her touch. She apologizes tearfully, mumbling about loving me too much. Watching her anxiety bloom, I glimpse an even darker urge, a desire to destroy everything out of terror and twisted love. Face hidden by loose hair, Helena struggles against an urge to destroy us both. I pretend not to notice her trembling. She convinces herself I'm not lying, barely holding her darkness at bay. Throwing open the window, I gulp down sharp, cold night air, tentacle marks burning on my neck. My hope for a normal life dies anew tonight. Helena's peace is just another kind of terror. My hands tremble, pouring water. She hasn't changed at all. That dinner table illusion of Helena as a cute, polite girl was just that, an illusion held together by fear and my own wishful hope. Despair replaces the last of my hope. I know now, nothing I do can change who Helena is. However tempting the fantasy, loving her is a guarantee of my own destruction and pain. She appears again, back on my bed, serene as an angel. If not for those lurking tentacles, she'd seem sweet and harmless. But her quiet question carries the weight of a hunter's gaze. Feigning cheer, I suggest Helena should sleep in her own room. She tilts her head, huge blue eyes pleading, quietly asking to stay by my side, leaving me helpless against her innocent mask. Helena's request finally sinks in. She wants to sleep beside me, no pretense. Fighting panic, I reluctantly agree, patting the linens, knowing refusal could mean something far worse than discomfort. Helena giggles, bouncing onto the bed. She wraps her arms and soft tentacles tightly around my waist, sighing in contentment. With darkness settled, sleep is a distant luxury for either of us tonight. Held tight by Helena, I stare at the ceiling. Her embrace is warm, but 6 tentacles keep me prisoner. Restless, my heart pounds as I realize real peace with her may always be out of reach. Early morning light blurs the line between sleep and waking. The empty space beside me reminds me Helena's gone, but the marks from her restless tentacles linger on my skin. Squinting at my reflection while rubbing red, swollen marks, I relive last night's torment. Helena's tentacles are unpredictable. Even in sleep they shift, spikes, scales, nervous twitching. Moments later, a savory aroma pulls me toward the dining room. My stomach growls, betraying how little rest or comfort I managed to get during the long and restless night with Helena. Inside the kitchen, my curiosity shifts to amusement. Helena's tentacles multitask with inhuman grace, one holding a pan, another cracking eggs, 2 more chopping sausages, toast popping up nearby. Who would have guessed? The surreal sight. Those same eerie tentacles once wrapped around my throat, now delicately slicing sausage and spreading ketchup on my breakfast sandwich for me. Heart-shaped breakfast on my plate, Helena winks, expectant and proud. I try her eggs, they're perfect, runny yolk beneath pepper and ketchup. I can't help but devour it all at once. Sunlight filters through the window as Helena watches me eat. Chin in her hand, eyes soft with quiet hope. I almost believe this peaceful breakfast could stretch on forever for us both. Helena seems distant, lost in thought. I finish eating, burp in content satisfaction, and tease her, holding out a piece of egg, trying to feed her as she smiles and finally takes a bite. Helena only manages a small bite. The rest of the egg falls. She laughs it off with those crescent moon eyes. Somehow, even in these moments, I forget the danger she represents. Helena declares she was only thinking happy things, all about me, as her tentacle tidies up the mess. Her laughter fills the kitchen, and for a heartbeat, it feels like a real family. She teases me to keep guessing her thoughts, shaking my arm and rolling her eyes at my bad jokes. Despite the forced innocence, my mind works through plans, for caution is still my shield. Under laughter and playful teasing, I measure every risk. Helena's patience has stabilized her somewhat, but the danger remains. One wrong move and those docile tentacles could kill me instantly. For now, I decide to watch and wait, patient for my chance. Helena's moods seem calmer with me near. I'll keep her company until it's safe to try containing her again, whenever that is. In these days together, Helena grows ever more normal. Like any girl her age, her suspicion has faded. She now believes I'm truly staying home for her, not sneaking away to class. Sometimes guilt shadows Helena's face when she sees my boredom, as if she's afraid she's confining me, like she's quietly debating if letting me outside again is the right thing. Soon, Helena furtively relaxes her guard. I sense her watching, almost wishing I'd go outside. She acts normal enough to let me out, probably planning to follow if I try anything tricky. I decide to make a quick trip, planning to buy Helena a stuffed toy. Maybe such a small gesture will keep her happier, more docile, if only to tip the odds a little more in my favor. Helena gives an easy nod as I announce my trip, but I know she's still aware of everything I do. As I reach for my coat, a sudden knocking at the door jolts my heart. Helena's sudden appearance at my back startles me. Her eyes are ice cold and unreadable. Each knock tightens the air, dread building. Remote as we are, this visitor is no random neighbor. The knocking stops. From behind the door, a gentle, magnetic voice calls out, "Evelyn, my teacher, here on a home visit." My relief is brief. This timing could not possibly be worse. Helena's face is a mask, her voice low, her gaze fixed, every trace of her usual smile erased. My attempts to explain only dig the hole deeper as her eyes grow colder and distant. Helena repeats Evelyn's nickname for me, expression unreadable. Accusations coil beneath every word, and my smile wavers in terror. I never imagined a simple home visit could trigger this much danger. Suspicion sharpens when Helena claims I plan to meet Evelyn. My mind races for a way out as I see love, jealousy, and danger flicker in Helena's eyes, all sharpened by uncertainty. Guilt floods me instantly, my hands trembling as I try to reach Helena. Why did this have to happen now? Right when peace seemed possible, trouble arrives at my door, uninvited. Trying to explain, desperate to fix this, I grip Helena's shoulder, but she gently brushes my hand away and says in a calm, icy voice, "There's no need. All truths will soon come to light." A rush of sunlight streams in, revealing Evelyn standing gracefully at the threshold, handbag and sun hat in hand, her presence both a relief and a harbinger of greater chaos yet to come. Evelyn's greeting is light and cheerful at first, but Helena's playful comment about her age darkens her expression, and Evelyn shoots me a glare that promises trouble for how I described her. Helena's taunt stings, and Evelyn is obviously irritated. She calls me a rascal, and instantly I signal desperately, trying to warn her about the hidden danger without giving anything away aloud. Before I can say anything more, Helena cuts me off with a frosty smile, suggesting I invite Evelyn in for a long conversation, the hidden threat curling behind every sweet and gentle word. Though Evelyn hesitates, Helena's charming formality prevails, and she leads the teacher inside, closing the door with a final thud that leaves me feeling as if some invisible barrier just sealed our fate. Seated across from Evelyn, as she kindly asks after my health, I'm reminded how out of place her concern is in this house. Her gentle eyes not seeing the danger building in every shadow around us. When I honestly admit I haven't been to school, Evelyn's concern deepens. She scolds me gently, worrying that absences will hurt my credits. I barely hold back, telling her the terrifying truth. My act deepens when I declare I hate school. Evelyn's shock is real as she reacts in disbelief and anger, her entire visit already unraveling before I can even offer her any real explanation. The atmosphere turns stifling after Evelyn's outburst, but Helena slides next to me and gently, forcefully pushes me into a seat. Her touch gentle but strength unmistakable and slightly terrifying. Helena assumes her gentle facade for Evelyn once more, refilling her teacup and apologizing for my rudeness, claiming my sickness explains any outburst, every word seamlessly hiding what lurks beneath. Evelyn looks at me with disappointment etched into every line of her face, her pride wounded by my admission, her voice trembling as she admits she thought she'd found a good student in me. With a subtle smile, Helena hints at Evelyn's feelings for me, her words confusing Evelyn, whose annoyance boils over. She declares her care wasted and prepares to leave, disgusted by the siblings' drama. Unexpectedly, Helena blocks Evelyn's way, her words and expressions suddenly sinister. She urges Evelyn to stay forever, her tone playful, but the threat beneath it cold and unmistakably deadly. It finally dawns on Evelyn. She reads the warning I tried to give her. Panic overtakes her as she breaks free and sprints for the door, her entire body taut with the pure terror to escape alive. Evelyn barely makes it several steps before her strength leaves her, and she collapses to the floor. A flash of realization and anguish on her face, as Helena's heinous laughter echoes through the house. Frozen, I stare at Evelyn as she falls, my stomach turning to ice at the sick certainty Helena has poisoned her. I cannot help but shudder as Helena's joy grows increasingly wild and dangerous. Seeing Helena now, body trembling and wild, lips curled in a mad grin, chills me. She turns toward me and calls out, her tentacles beginning to uncoil, promising I am next to endure her affection. Helena's tentacles encircle my neck, the sharp tips hovering, her gaze drilling into me. I remain still, strangely at peace. Am I really this numb to dying, or just broken enough to welcome whatever comes? Even while embracing me with lethal intent, Helena rants about my unfaithfulness, blaming me, the teacher, and every threat real or imagined, the lines between love and violence dissolving in her madness. Her threats are veiled in sweet words. She says it's time for me to rest, and a wave of mental corruption hits me so hard I can't fight it. Blackness crashes over me, and everything simply stops. Straps dig tightly into my skin, the heavy straitjacket pinning me against cold metal. My head throbs. The thick fog of Helena's mental assault has yet to truly fade away. The silence wraps around me, broken only by the weak hiss of the oil lamp. Shadows blink across damp stone, and the sickly stench of blood finally reaches my senses like a punch. Focusing my gaze, I spot Evelyn's corpse sprawled in the shadows. There's a cavernous wound in her chest, and crimson pulp trailing where organs once were. My stomach rebels at the horror. Every time my eyes land on Evelyn, waves of nausea and regret threaten to overwhelm me. I struggle to turn away, yet Helena's threat echoes. Time to reform Big Brother. Am I next? Gaze swinging left, the table of gleaming serrated knives, bandages, and chilly potion bottles comes into view. My scalp tingles. What is Helena planning? I'd rather die than endure this. The too tight restraints refuse to budge, no matter how I strain. Iron straps, heavy locks, I know this chair's design all too well, never dreaming I would end up as its prisoner myself. My only hope lies in the system's negotiation skill, still cooling down with a relentless red timer ticking away. Half an hour left. If I can only buy time, maybe I'll find a way out. Without warning, the basement door groans open, and Helena steps in, lamp in hand, smile stretching wide across her face. For now, she looks almost gentle. I brace for what comes next. Big Brother, did you miss me? The sweetness in Helena's tone is as chilling as the look in her eyes. Her favorability soars, but her contamination is almost off the charts. She caresses my cheek. Helena's smile grows sickly wide as she forces my head to face Evelyn's maimed corpse, demanding I look. I bite back bile. I don't want her to see me break, but it's impossible not to flinch. Seeing Evelyn's fate, I feel only regret and a flicker of self-loathing, resentment dissolved into sorrow. None of this can be undone. If only I had managed everything better at school before. Helena mistakes my regret for confession, her smile turning almost triumphant. She believes I finally learned my lesson. She announces she will now reform me, her excitement growing sharper. With a shiver, I watch Helena stalk to the butcher's table and select a brutal serrated knife, sterilizing its edge, readying an anesthetic, acting as if this is all gentle care for me. Helena approaches, her voice syrupy with mock comfort. She insists I won't feel pain after the potion. Her hand rests softly on mine, yet promises a violation more cruel than death. Helena reminisces about my hands, her words loving yet twisted. She warns these hands will soon no longer be mine. The realization crashes over me, and terror crawls up my spine. No matter how I curse her as a lunatic, Helena simply gazes at me gently and describes a future where she cares for my crippled body, pushing me through flower fields and distant cities. The tender future Helena imagines is poison to me. Her crooked love is an inescapable shackle. I have no wish for death, but losing everything would be a fate even darker than dying. Time ticks slow as stone, every minute drags by while Helena paints an idyllic nightmare. I hold back panic, calculating how long my resolve can last before my only hope, the skill, returns. For now, I must endure, buy precious time. Forcing my expression into a sad, bitter smile, I quietly address her, anything to spark conversation, anything to delay the moment my body is undone. Squirming inside, I watch Helena's smile flicker between gentle and cruel. Her fingers trace my cheek as she promises a painless sleep, yet nothing can chase away the terror simmering in my gut. Saccharine words fade, I fixate on the rusty blade. Fear of agony means little compared to losing my arms and legs, waking up cut down to nothing. My only hope is to outlast Helena. Shifting logic feels pointless. I realize nothing will persuade her. My exhaust runs dry, replaced by curtailed laughter and a theatrical eye roll, stalling for dear life with humor's last edge. Years of cynicism fade behind these dungeon walls. I play the patient, begging for her to at least keep talking. If I'm chatterbox enough, maybe I won't lose everything. At least not yet. Shouldn't let her in, yet ask about psychology, rambling about the world she's never heard. Every word's another minute bought, her curiosity tangling amusement and suspicion in her bright blue gaze. Blankness, then awe fills her. She marvels at my self-important explanation. I seize her distraction, stringing together facts and lies alike, hopeful her fixation on me prolongs this bizarre conversation. Appraising Helena's soul, I return her stare with honest curiosity. She fidgets, uncertainty piercing her confidence. Her anticipation tightens the air as I ready a diagnosis she can't rationalize away. Diagnosis lands like ice shattered. Helena's face contorts as I outline her psyche, my voice steady and clinical. Each word, though partly invented, pierces something true and terribly raw beneath her mask. Corruption and madness blend, her trembling intensifies as childhood memories resurface. Voice wavers between blaming herself and clinging to me. I watch, helpless, as broken reasoning spirals toward collapse. Broken mutterings fracture the tense air, guilt and resolve war in Helena's eyes. Each minute crawls, barely buying enough time before my only gambit returns. I weigh if I can outlast her spiral. Suddenly Helena's quiet breaks. She leaps up, eyes wild with betrayal. Screaming about lies, she storms for the saw, fury and heartbreak mixing like a storm as sanity shatters before my eyes. She repeats a twisted mantra. The night drags on, action inevitable. Saw in fist, Helena closes in. No plea will be heard. Terror spikes as I shrink from the gleam of old steel in her grip. Desperation closes around me. No arguments left, no escape as the anesthesia vial touches my lips. Eyes squeezed shut, I refuse to yield, fighting back panic and air as her grip grows ruthless. Frustrated, Helena cracks. Potion shatters on stone, acrid liquid spreading as she reaches for the blade. Rage overtakes her, saw raised in trembling hands. I brace, heartbeat battering my chest. Everything freezes. A flicker interrupts the hellish rhythm. Firelight falters, crackling pierces our standoff. My eyes dart for the source. Helena glances up, fury dissolving, as something far stranger seizes the room. Chilled to my bones, I stare as the source of the noise seeps from the darkness, the broken shape of Evelyn's corpse. Unthinkable horror claws at my mind as her body jerks, unholy and wrong. Corpse twitches grow relentless, a crackling crescendo, until with a sound like splintering timber, Evelyn's body bolts upright. My breath catches, stuck between disbelief and dread as the dead begin to move. Flickering firelight exposes unthinkable horror. Evelyn's corpse jerks upright, smile spreading on her ruined face. Paralyzed, I watch her unnatural gaze settle directly on me. Turning stiffly, Evelyn's ruined body faces me. Her lips curl, and she speaks in a hoarse whisper. For a fleeting second I question reality. Hope rising before horror returns to crush it. Neither Helena nor I dare move. The monstrous parody continues as Evelyn utters strange words, voice unnatural. Revulsion wars with a trembling hope that this might be some twisted survival. With Helena's snarl, everything explodes. Her arms split open, 6 tentacles lashing at Evelyn. But all light is torn away in a chilling whoosh. Total darkness closes in, and chaos erupts unseen. Bone-deep dread surges as blackness thickens. All vision gone, only chaos echoes. I frantically test my bindings, squirming with every muscle, praying for a chance while the monsters battle unseen. Silent chaos reigns, shivering in shadow. I brace for pain, but instead a cool hand presses a knife into my palm. Evelyn, even as a corpse, helps me. Desperation and gratitude collide in my chest. Knife sawing through thick straps, I glimpse flashes of tentacles and steel, Evelyn now hacking at Helena's inhuman limbs. Sounds of chaos sharpen, stifling fear threatening to unstring my mind. For a moment everything narrows, the knife slips, tearing my skin. My blood sprays, warm and stinging, but freedom matters more. I wrench my arm loose, cutting deep, just to escape my bonds. Snarling, Helena lunges, her tentacles slash for my head just as my body half wriggles free. I spin and swipe blindly, desperate, knife connecting with slippery flesh as chaos rages all around us. Helena's rage intensifies as Evelyn slams her into a wall. Tentacles flail, the stone basement shakes, and neither horrifying monster yields ground. I stagger, clutching my bleeding arm, gasping at their power. Trembling, I seize my chance, yelling about Helena's heart, hoping to help. As my words echo, Helena unleashes a murderous wave, sending Evelyn flying, tentacles pinning and choking her to the ground. Helena's gaze burns through me. Betrayed beyond reason, she lunges, tentacle whipping at my skull. I hurl myself clear, rolling to the basement stairs, frantic instinct barely outrunning death. Flinging my battered body at the basement door, I slam it shut and force the latch, just as a razor tentacle pierces through, missing my head by inches. Cold sweat runs down, heart hammering wild. Latching the basement tight, I stagger and bolt for the stairs, blood streaking from my hand. Thoughts whirl wild. I need the potion. I need to slow Helena's madness before we're all consumed tonight. Atop the stairs on trembling legs I fumble for the hidden vial, bloodied left hand reaching into a flower vase. Dread trailing behind, I pull out hope, one dose, feeble, but anything to tip the odds. Thunder rings below, helpless resolve nearly fails as a mass of writhing tentacles bursts into view. Helena's silhouette crawls atop the landing, monstrous eyes fixed and voice warped with agony. Hostile gallery standoff, Helena's voice wails, laced with bitterness and madness. Her arms' writhing tentacles throb and crawl. My body prepares, dread and duty crackling through every raw nerve. Big brother. Her warped laughter taints reality. Words slice me deeper than steel. Affection maxed, pollution spiking, system panels flicker red. Overwhelmed, my mind shudders, senses threatening to snap. Needles stab through my brain. Reality warps as horror overloads my senses. The system warns of sanity collapse, and I brace for psychic oblivion, still gripping fragile hope as terror blurs my vision. Roots of horror seize, my mind short-circuits as sanity evaporates, Helena's warped voice slicing deeper than tentacles. I'm paralyzed, powerless, as she drags me closer still. Teeth clenched, my vision fades near gray. Her voice distorts the air, questions stabbing. Tentacles coil tighter, their pressure promising the end if I surrender even slightly now. Nowhere left to run, her tentacles pierce my resolve, pitch black and hungry. Sanity strains as my mind's foundation breaks, arms limp, hope nearly gone. I drop the vital glass vial below. Letting go is relief. The potion's meager contents splash over Helena's tentacles. Her monstrous pollution ebbs, if only a little, and sudden clarity returns to my scattered, shattered mind. Time slows. My head clears by inches as the system's negotiation skill comes off cooldown. Mental calm swallows me where panic lived, negotiator instincts gripping even as tentacles press in. One fleeting advantage left. My smile is all steel as I wield newfound composure. This power even tames madness. My gaze cuts through her monstrous shell, negotiating with terror incarnate. Dread has fled, my lips move, words like daggers. I mock her devotion, wondering aloud if it's just an escape. Her tentacles tremble, fury and confusion fighting in her bestial glare. Words sharpen, probing deeper, her hate cracks, bewilderment warring with rage. I watch the pained monster, her "am I running away" echo, knowing the skill is the only reason I yet breathe. Could not have survived? Were the skill absent, my corpse would sprawl here. Masking my relief, I calmly goad her again, painting her as a pitiful loser, shattering hope with logic and contempt. Tension climbs to breaking. The monster jerks, eyes wide fury. Her mouth works, denying, claiming joy and victory. My lips curve in quiet disbelief, pitying her fragile delusions with a sigh. Watching her flail, I press the question. What is it you truly want? She sneers but never answers. At last I gently lecture, logic wounding more than knives. Her tentacles tremble at each word. You haven't sorted it, my words hit again. I sigh, promising someday to teach her life's logic from the very start. She stares, tentacles still, mind lost in a rare and childish blankness. Teaching a monster absurd, yet here I'm spelling out her true goal. All your pain, Helena, for happiness, not just to possess me. Your face crumples as truth sifts through confusion and loss. Tender words unravel her strength. I recall our old table, a brother returning to simple home-cooked meals. Her monstrous stare flickers, tentacles loosening, hunger shifting from violence to longing. Promise of lost joys, sunshine, busy markets, soft bread, silly prizes. These visions of life ground me. Pushing horror aside, I lightly pat her monstrous head, hope warring with dread within me. Only ordinary dreams, dress twirls, big teddy bear prizes, remain out of her reach. Apology spills out, for failing her, for life never letting her be simple, ordinary. My resolve hardens, gentle but fierce. Your life's unfinished, Helena. If you kill me, happy endings die with us, all vengeance hollow. Hollow victory would leave you emptier, two corpses with nothing, not even the memory of joy. Deceit be ended, no more lying to yourself, my sister. Empty revenge is no cure. All I have left is this small hope, that you'll let yourself live, and choose happiness, starting now.